guys, Raphael here from Flip English School, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about adverbial clauses, okay? Most specifically, time clauses, okay? Adverbial time clauses, all right? And you'll see what that is in just a moment. I hope you enjoyed the video. All right, so as I said, we're going to be talking a little bit about adverbial clauses, most specifically time clauses. And I've got some examples here for you. Let's see the first one. I take a shower before I go to work, okay? If you pay close attention, you can see that this sentence has actually two parts or two clauses. There is the main clause, I take a shower, and the time clause or the adverbial time clause, before I go to work. How do you know this is a time clause? Okay, because there are other types of clauses. This one's specifically a time clause because of the word before. Okay, so I take a shower before I go to work. Okay, now it's possible to invert the position of the clauses and still be the same, give the same idea. Let's take a look. Before I go to work, I take a shower. So all that's different here is the time clause is before and the main clause is after. But the idea is the same, okay? One thing you have to remember when you invert the position is it's necessary to use a comma, okay? So before I go to work, comma, I take a shower. All right, but the idea is the same. All right, so main clause, time clause, no problem. Let's continue with some other examples. As I said, I'm not going to talk about all of them. I'm going to talk about the main ones. We've talked about before. Now we're going to see a different one. Let's take a look. I took a nap after I had lunch. If we take into consideration the previous example, we can see that I took a nap is the main clause. After I had lunch is the time clause. How do I know this? The word after, okay? I took a nap after I had lunch, okay? Also, pay attention to the verb form. I took a nap, okay? I'm referring to the past here, so I can use time clauses with different verb tenses, okay? So I took a nap after I had lunch. Now, the simple past is in the main clause, but in the time clause, we use the simple past too, okay? So I took a nap after I had lunch, okay? No problem. Let's take a look at another example. After I had lunch, I took a nap. Same thing. Look here. The comma, okay? You have to remember the comma. After I had lunch, comma, I took a nap. If you decide to invert the position of the clauses, you have to use a comma, okay? All right, let's take a look at the next example. We talked about before, we talked about after, and now we're going to talk about when. I'll call you when my mother arrives. Pay attention to this sentence here. I will call you, I'll call you when my mother arrives. So the first one, the first clause, the main clause is I'll call you, okay? When my mother arrives is the time clause. Once again, I identified this by the word when. Okay? I'll call you when my mother arrives. Main clause, time clause. But please pay attention to the verb tense. In the main clause, I use the future. I'll call you. Okay? Now, in the time clause, I use the present simple. You have to remember that, okay? When you're talking about the future and you're using the time clause, you're going to end up using the present simple. So look at the construction there. You can also invert this time clause too. Let's see. When my mother arrives, I'll call you. You just have to remember the comma, okay? Well, guys, once again, Pretty simple stuff, not very complicated, okay? And I think that's about it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.